Presented by Hyundai, Whitlock and Wiley, joined now by Houston Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta.
And author.
And author, yeah. Look, and I'm going to start there before we get into all the James Harden, Westbrook questions. Shut up and listen. Your book, what's it about?
You know, Harper Collins approached me about 18 months ago and said, hey, Tillman, we watch your TV show. We see you on all these business shows and sports shows, and we love your Tillmanisms. Why don't you just tell the tools that took you from having one restaurant to being worth $5 billion? And that's kind of what I do. It's not stories. It's the 95-5 rule. Know what you know what you don't know. There are no spare customers. Take the word no out of your damn vocabulary. And it's just kind of the things that I did to become successful.
And so if I read this book, will I someday be on TV and be like, Jason, you started eating at one restaurant, and now you're worth $5 billion.
It's like we're brothers from another. Shut up and listen. Never shut up.
That's us.
Right?
That's us.
Humanism, Wileyisms. That's where my $5 billion at. I ain't got that part. I don't have that going.
All right. Daryl Morey pulls the trigger on probably the biggest trade of the offseason. Why did you guys do that, CP3 for Russell Westbrook?
I'll tell you, and it kind of goes back to the book. At the end of the year, me and Daryl and Coach sit down, and we were in my office, and I even said this, hey, we do 95% of everything right. We've won more games than the Rockets have ever won in the last 2 years. What is the 5% we're missing? And we think Russell Westbrook is at 5%. And we feel like he's going to give us something in transition and his athleticism to pick up our pace that we did not have. Now, I think Chris Paul's unbelievable. I think Oklahoma City is going to be better than anybody's given him credit because Chris Paul has a lot of greatness left in him. But I think for the Houston Rockets today, we feel like that Russell Westbrook made us a better team. I remember watching that son of a gun running up down the court last year when they beat us twice and saying, what would it be like to have him on our team? I mean, he is so athletic.
Now, take us into your mindset and the level of concern because of usage rate, because it's going to be a shared experience, one ball, two guys who really do well with the ball in their hands. What are you thinking about that?
They're talking about it, and the two of them have to work it out. I mean, Daryl and me and Mike can talk about it all we want, but the two of them have to do it. You got to remember this. James and Russ came into the league at the same time. Yeah. Chris is 4 years older. In basketball years, that's like 20 years, okay, when you look at the longevity of careers. Those two guys played together in Oklahoma City. They played ball in L.A. together. They've known each other a long time. They're both 30 years old, and they both want to win a championship, okay, which is good for me, okay? They're going to work this out. They are working it out right now. This wouldn't have happened. Remember, this trade wouldn't have happened if James Harden didn't say, I want to do this, okay? James Harden pulls the trigger as much as me and Daryl. So,
Tillman, I heard you say after the season or at some point last season about wanting to instill your attitude into the franchise. And it makes, I don't know if that was a level of toughness you were talking about or what, but one of the things I find interesting about Russell Westbrook, and I want your thoughts on this, obviously, is he plays the game with an anger. And I've said for a guy that handles the ball that much, you got to play the game with more joy. If you're angry, it affects your decision-making. What do you think about Russell's attitude, and is that the right fit for the Houston Rockets? Will he maybe add the toughness you're talking about, and maybe I'm missing that? Have there been any discussions about Russell's attitude and the energy he plays with on the court?
Well, and we love his energy, and one thing we all know, you can never make good decisions if you're doing it angry. And my culture is to win, and it's no matter what I do. But the Rockets are a winning franchise, and when I inherited this team with a great coach, a great player, great general manager, a great operations president, I'm very fortunate, okay? But you know what? They know how bad I want to win. But I don't want to win any more than James Harden doesn't want to win a championship, and Russ Westbrook and Mike D'Antoni and Daryl. They all want to ring, so we're all on the same page. Russ is going to do whatever it takes to make sure that him and James are going to make this work. And if Russ has to slow down a little bit, I'm sure he's going to slow down a little bit. But one of the things I love about him is the way he plays, and I think that's what James loves about him, is the way he plays. But the two of them have to make it work. Mike ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Daryl's not going to do it. But I have faith in those two guys.
Now, you made mention of Coach D'Antoni. Is it title or bust this season for Coach D'Antoni?
I'll tell you right now, it's absolutely not title or bust. Mike's represented well from a very great agent, and we just weren't able to make a deal. But you got to understand, in the business world I live in, Mike's under contract, okay? I didn't even think anything of it. And somebody said, oh, you know, how is Mike going to be a lame duck coach? And me and Mike sat down, and we just said, let's not worry about it this year. We'll get it done after next year. Me and Mike are fine. Mike will be the coach, I promise you, year after next, okay? Mike and I are in a good place, but he's under contract, and we'll put him under a new contract next year.
Tillman, you can pass on this question because Carmelo Anthony was just there a short period of time. I don't know how well you got to know him. So feel free to pass if you don't. But are you surprised Carmelo's not back in the league? I loved his interview he did with Stephen A. Smith.
I did too.
I felt like he had humbled himself and was in the right mindset. Are you surprised no one's giving him a chance?
I'm 100% surprised. And I never got a chance to get to know him that well. But this guy's got a lot of basketball left in him, and he could not have been more of a gentleman, and everybody told me that. But, you know, I talk about this in my book, is I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And they said, hey, let's sign him, and I said, that's fine if y'all think that. And when they decided to release him, I'm not going to tell my basketball people what to do, okay? Now, do I have to give the final, yes, absolutely. But it's something really big has to happen for me to say no when they all want to go the other way. But I'm extremely disappointed that he's not back in the league, even though he might not have been the perfect fit for us. There's a lot of teams that can use Carmelo Anthony and his leadership, and he is just a true gentleman every time I talk to him.
Now, one thing you may not know is your star player, James Harden, is trying a one-legged three-point shot. You in or out on that? Is the check clearing?
The check's definitely going to clear, but I don't know if James is going to be shooting that or not. He better shoot at least 35% when he does it, or everybody's going to have a problem. But that's James is James, and what I love about James, and I talk about this in the book again, be the bull, and that son of a gun is the bull. And his neck can hurt him, his eye can't see, his arm won't come up. That son of a gun's still going in the game. In a time when all athletes are tender and soft, James Harden is the bull, and I just love him for it.
Hey, Tillman, it's great meeting you. I love your energy. Going to read your book. I appreciate you signing for it. If you could, because you're new to sports ownership relatively, you just bought the team, I think, in 2017. How do you see yourself as an NBA owner or a sports franchise owner? Is there any other owner in football or basketball that you point to and say, that's how I want my brand, that's how I want my identity to be?
I probably see a lot of different ones that I like certain pieces, just like I never had a great mentor in business, but I try to learn from different ones. Stephen A. always refers to me as George Steinbrenner, and I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Oh, that's not a championship.
But I love Stephen A. But I truly try to learn a little bit from all of them, But I'm different. Remember, I've been out there a long time. Matter of fact, I was a partner in the Rockets between '82 and '92. Wow. Okay, and then I was a partner in the Texans.
You bought them when you were just a child.
No, I was a little partner, and I remember.
Were you like 12 years older?
No, but believe it or not, I was only like 22 when they sold for $10 million to Charlie Thomas. So I owned a percentage of them.
Wow.
And then I lost the bid in '92 when Les Alexander paid $80 million, $85 million. We had a bid in at 80. And then over the next 25 years, I had to pay $2.2 billion for them. But I sit in the same seats I've been sitting at for 25 years. And so I've been around it. And like I said, then I was with Bob and the Texans, but I had to sell it when I bought the Golden Nugget Casino and started rolling out casinos. So I've been around sports a long, long time. But and I've been doing this a long time, except used to do it along with business shows. So it's fun to mix in some sports.
Tillman, thank you very much.
Thanks, gentlemen. A lot of pleasure.
Hope I have you back. All right, coming up, Marcellus will show us the best plays from big men across football.
Oh, yeah.
The latest installment of Dat Dude's Dudes. Nerds. Speak for yourself is presented by